Mama View Swabwaji. We're live from Joy 99.7 FM in Accra, Love 99.5 in Kumasi and affiliates across Ghana, including Kaleo FM, Akachi Radio Wainwa, ATL FM in Cape Coast. You can download the My Joy online app from the Play Store and App Store to listen on the internet. Coming up, 3 people dead and several others believed to be trapped after a Galamsey pit caved in at Bremang in the central region.
The pit has caved in on them. Those are helped to bring out of the pit were about 3, 2 females and a male. One seemed to be about 26 years old.
We'll bring you the latest on this developing story as NADMO officials race against time to rescue survivors. Also, more concerns on government's implementation of the free senior high school program as school authorities and some parents lament inadequate bed space, forcing students to sleep on the floor, plus difficulty in finding food for students.
For the sleep on the floor, it's a normal thing. Congestion is all over. Where there is space, no beds, everything will come from Accra. We don't have any way to complain but to wait or to use your own money to get food for the students.
We'll hear from the Ghana Education Service, which says it is committed to addressing the challenges. And group calling itself political parties without representation in Parliament hit back at NDC, insisting no amount of intimidation will deter them from contributing to electoral reforms.
IPAC, an eminent advisory committee meeting, exposed NDC as a sole loser. It is common knowledge that in a democracy, obsession with desire for power does not translate into an entitlement.
And coming up in sports,
it's Manchester United versus Villarreal tonight in Gdansk in the final of the UEFA Europa League. We'll get a thought of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as he aims to win his first trophy as Manchester United manager.
Stay with us for details of all these stories and more. Now, 3 people are confirmed dead and several others are believed to be trapped after a Galamsey pit caved in at Bremang, a mining community in the Upper Densha West districts of the central region. Eyewitnesses say the dead include 2 women. NADMO officials confirmed the incident happened at 5 a.m. today. We'll speak live with our reporter on the ground, but first, listen to the account of some eyewitnesses.
The pit has caved in on them. Those are helped to bring out of the pit were about 3, 2 females and a male. One seemed to be about 26 years old and the other about 15 years.
And I saw 15 years.
We came in a rush when we heard the pit had caved in. This was at about 4 a.m. We had just shovels which we used to dig. We couldn't reach all of them except the 3. Since the president banned small-scale mining, we've all stopped. These people are not from here.
Well, we're joined on the line now by our Central Region correspondent, Richard Kujunyako. Richard, we've heard the accounts of the eyewitnesses, but what have you gathered from NADMO officials in terms of how things happened?
Well, so at the moment, NADMO are racing against time. They have deployed some excavators as well as other machines to the mining site. This is an illegal, they say that it's an illegal mining site located outskirts of the Breman area, and it is called Breman Lokmu, and this is where young men and women on a daily basis go there to scavenge for gold. And so rescue efforts are underway. A lot of people have gone there, and the NADMO has assured that they are on top of the game. They are calling for more effort in order to get the people that are trapped rescued.
And are there survivors?
Well, so they fear that over 40 people are trapped at the belly of the land, and so they are looking forward to getting all of these people rescued.
Richard Kujunyako is our Central Region correspondent. From the Central Region, we move to the Eastern Region, where the constituency chairman of the opposition NDC in Etiwan West, one of the hot spots for Galamsey activities, has shut down the government's approach to fighting illegal mining. Johnson Amo says the use of the military to intimidate illegal miners instead of dialoguing with local miners would eventually crush the fight. His concerns come in the wake of the Operation Halt task force striking the area several times and setting fire on excavators and bulldozers belonging to NPP's women organizer Kate Jemfua. Listen.
Some of us felt that the approach was wrong because you cannot use the military and the police to guide the mining site throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year. And for that matter, there should have been a concerted effort by having a consultative assembly or meeting where the public would dialogue with the state officials. There's no galamsey in Accra. There's no galamsey going on in the Kumasi metropolis. You get it in the outskirts of some of the districts within the Ashanti region, but not the Kumasi metropolis. But when you come to the communities where the mining is done, that is where the engagement must start.
Johnson Amo is the NDC Etiwa West constituency chairman.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Now, police at Kwewu Etibie in the Eastern region are yet to identify the bodies of 6 people killed in a car crash yesterday. The Hyundai truck is said to have somersaulted several times after a brake failure on the Ojianoma Mountains. DSP Foster Asante is the divisional MTTD commander at Nkoko.
Now, this particular driver, when the family members arrive at the scene, they were also making remarks that he doesn't know the road and that he was cautious to give the car to another person. However, he failed to do so, and he picked other people on board. As we are speaking now, the unfortunate thing is that all those who died, they are unidentified because they were not part of the funeral people who were coming from Fofori. But the driver picked them on the way at Echi Amanfu, and they all happened to die on the spot.
That's very tragic.
Sure.
Did the driver survive? Is he part of those in hospital?
Yeah, yes, madam. The driver, together with 3 other people who happens to be part of the funeral people, have all survived, and they are in the hospital and they are in stable condition. The unfortunate thing is that all the passengers he picked on the road have further died because they were with the items at the back of the container. You know, it's a Kia Rhino and they have put a container on it, so it's more or less a mini container car which is loaded with all those items, and he picked those people on board in addition to items was carried to Accra.
And you had there an early interaction with DSP Foster Asante, the divisional MTTD commander at Nkoko. In the Ashanti region, residents of Onyinanofo, where a diesel tanker accident killed 3, want the government to urgently fix warning signs on the road to help deal with recurring accidents. The accident, which caused fire to sweep through the community, destroyed almost half of the settlement there. The residents believe markings signalizing the long curve will help prevent such accidents. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
Drivers using the Mankanso-Tepa highway often drive beyond speed limits, even as they negotiate the long curve at Onyinanofu. According to residents, the area is prone to accidents affecting persons in the small community. At one point, the youth of the community attempted erecting speed bumps as a safety mechanism but was stopped by the police. Chief of Rioso, Nana Asa Abibio, says the government should treat this with urgency. The curve is really long, so there's the need to put road signs on it. Or there should be speed bumps. I hear the tanker was speeding and even refused to stop at the police barrier. The National Disaster Management Organization has assured the traditional authority of an intervention. Eric Nanajiman Prempe is Director General.
So what I'm going to do is to write officially to the Minister for Roads so that we take it up and see how possible we can add more road signs and other things so that we don't experience such occurrences again.
Preliminary investigation by the police indicates the recent tanker accident was caused by a Ford Transit van that parked wrongfully along the curve. District Chief Executive for Ahafuano Southwest, Patrick Edusei, says the redevelopment of the road has been awarded on contract.
Thank God there is a contractor working on this road, so I advise if I can tell the road minister to consider this road to at least reduce, or if they can divert this curve so that it can reduce this incident.
For Joy News, Nana Ojima reporting.
Safe driving saves lives. Drive safe.
Now, more concerns are emerging about challenges bedeviling the implementation of the free senior high school program. A headmaster who spoke on the Super Morning Show on condition of anonymity says the high numbers have resulted in students sleeping on the floor. He also says finding food for students is a challenge. The free senior high school program, which took off in 2017, has been widely hailed as a game changer, as more than 1 million students currently have access to second cycle education, with government bearing the cost. There are, however, still some bottlenecks. Listen to the headmaster of a senior high school about some of the challenges.
For the sleep on the floor is a normal thing. Congestion is all over. Where there is space, no beds, everything will come from Accra. So it's a common phenomenon we are facing. My colleagues will not speak because, my brother, if you are not careful, you'll be, transferred, sanctioned for speaking out. That is why they will speak.
Let's start with this food situation. What's happening?
The food situation is alarming. You see, formerly, parents were buying food from the local market and, feeding their students with whatever fees they were paying. Now we have to wait on buffer to supply. Even maize to Amedongokro, yams to Sunyani Bay, where such foodstuffs are in abundance. It must take somebody from buffer to bring. And now what is worrying, because of upward adjustment in prices, the suppliers are not willing to bring the food items. If they want to bring it to you, even if it's 50 kg, they will bring you 30 kg. If you reject, the students will go hungry. If you take, it will not suffice the students. That is the situation we find ourselves. And you can't complain. We don't have any way to complain but to wait or to use your own money to get food for the students.
And you heard the headmaster speaking on the Super Morning Show today. Well, some parents called into the show to share their views on the situation.
I'm a teacher myself, and the situation on the ground at the various schools is alarming. The GO track came this March, and they are going just on Friday. How many months is that? The children themselves are also not serious. The girls are almost getting pregnant all the time. I have about 2 or 3 students that I know where I'm teaching, and it is time the government to wake up.
Well, civil society organization Education Watch says government must immediately fix bureaucratic bottlenecks that cause delay in release of funds, as well as ensure completion of infrastructure projects. Kofi Asare is executive director.
We acknowledge that government has put in place a lot of measures to expand infrastructure to end the double track. But unfortunately, the challenges we are facing today include delayed completion of projects. Projects that were supposed to have been completed by September last year are still uncompleted. Indeed, as of January, February this year, only 30% of the 828 projects being undertaken in the double track schools to actually end double track had been completed. It means that contractors are far behind schedule. We have schools where, for a particular dormitory project, about 3 contractors have come and gone in a matter of 2 years. And also there are issues with the drawing or the release of the $1.5 billion loan that the Ministry of Education secured to finance the development of this 820 projects aimed at ending the double track. School beds are not available. Again, a function of delayed procurement. I think once we are able to sort out this bureaucracy, we can be having a different discussion in the next 3 months or so.
Well, Kofi Asare is with Education Watch, and the Ghana Education Service has been responding to the concerns that have come up so far. First, on contact hours, the service says it has rather increased. Dr. Kwaminat Tando is Deputy Director General in charge of quality and access.
If you look at the semester system, where we have 2 semesters, we have increased the contact time. It translated now to 1,134 contact hours. So in any academic year, we were adding an additional 54 contact hours to students. So over their 3-year period, their contact hours increased by 162 contact hours per year, which translates obviously into more learning out. The reality of the matter is that the first set of free SHS students who were in this new contact hours for 2 consecutive academic years, their results speak for itself. That WAEC result is not even a Ghana result. It is the West Africa Examination Council. It's an international examination.
Well, Dr. Kwabena Tando also says government or the Ghana Education Service is committed to addressing the outstanding challenges confronting the free senior high school program.
Regardless of the situation, people will have concerns. Even in the more advanced societies, whether it's in the UK or in Russia or in the United States, we always hear these things. So it is not it is not the norm. There are certain, you're going to hear these. We are sending intervention grants to the schools so that the teachers are now supporting all students, not a segment of the students. There has always been concerns. When those concerns are raised, whether it is raised in the court of public opinion through the media or it is raised through our schools, we respond.
You heard the Deputy Director General in charge of Quality and Access of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Kwabena Tando. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame has denounced the practice where lawyers use social media to denigrate other lawyers. For him, such practices are dishonorable to the law practice and only seeks to court cheap publicity. He was speaking at a sword-cutting ceremony for the construction of the first phase of the Law Village. Listen.
I will take this opportunity to denounce the tendency of lawyers, sometimes even senior lawyers, some of whom have occupied high offices of state and have been leaders of the bar, to deploy social and traditional media to unjustifiably assail the integrity and reputation of senior figures in this country. Such conduct is dishonorable and occasions a breach of the rules of professional conduct and etiquette at the bar. The spread of false information by lawyers and disregard for the cherished values of the legal profession, apart from being disreputable, poses a far greater threat to cohesion in society, especially when it comes from senior lawyers. The misguided crave for cheap publicity and undue disparagement of others must be avoided. The nation ought to be concerned because ultimately a dishonest bar, it is said, beats a corrupt bench and affects the core of society we see to build.
Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, our presidential correspondent Elton Brobe, is at that event and joins us on the line. Elton, we understand the president has been speaking about illegal mining. What did he say?
So, Mama V, according to him, the devastation caused by illegal mining is evil. And for that reason, the full force of the country must be brought in to uproot the evil that illegal mining is generated. And for him, he is satisfied and happy with the strategy and methods adopted by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to rid the country of illegal mining. And for those who are raising human rights issues, those who are not happy with some of the things that are happening, including the ban of excavators, the law court is there for them to go and seek redress. But as far as he is concerned, he sworn an oath to protect the Ghanaian and the territorial integrity of the country. And this is exactly what he is doing. And he will continue to do so to ensure that illegal mining finds no place in the country, and will do so to ensure that our water bodies and our forest reserves are protected from the ravages of illegal mining.
Elton Brobe is our presidential correspondent, and still on the subject of illegal mining, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources today launched a program to generate 4 million hybrid oil palm seedlings in support of the Green Ghana project. We've got our correspondent Kofi Siao joining us on the line. Kofi, what more can you report?
Okay, so the minister has been touring the eastern region as part of effort to ensure that they provide the alternative livelihood for people who are into illegal mining. So today he came to add also there is a town here where a Richie plantation has been cultivating a number of seedlings in oil palm, and the idea is that they're going to supply about 4 million seedlings to people that is going to serve as alternative livelihood. And this is part of effort, just as I said before, to ensure that people who are into illegal mining, and also to ensure that we find a solution to the degradable land as well as other purposes. So the minister has been there, and he has been launching the program here in Adoso.
Kofi Siao is our Eastern Region correspondent. You're listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Stories gone by. 3 people dead and several others believed to be trapped after a Galamsey pit caved in at Bremen in the Central Region. We got our Central Regional correspondent giving us details. Still ahead, group calling itself political parties without representation in Parliament hit back at NDC, insisting no amount of intimidation will deter them from contributing to electoral reforms.
IPAC, an eminent advisory committee meeting expose NDC as a sole loser. It is common knowledge that in a democracy, obsession with desire for power does not translate into an entitlement.
We also have sports. Stay with us. This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aplao. In the Eastern region, we're on K Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sona region, we're on Sky FM and Parrot FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast, and in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady. This is the Midday News. We've got sports with Hans Mensah Ando now.
Well, what the big one everyone is waiting for is on Saturday night. But before then, there's a small matter of the UEFA Europa League final, and tonight is Manchester United up against Villarreal in Gdansk. For United, it represents a chance to win a first trophy under the leadership of manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Villarreal, meanwhile, are in a major European final for the first time and will hope the experience of Unai Emery in this competition will be an advantage. Let's take a listen to United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ahead of tonight's final.
Got enough self-belief, whatever circumstances I've been in. Quietly confident, as I've always said. Trusting the players. These players are ready for this, and that's the main thing. I've seen in them something growing inside of them, more and more confident, more and more robust, resilient to setbacks. As a group, I'm confident that we're ready for this now. Every player who goes into a final has the expectation and pressure to win. You have to prepare to win. We plan to win. We expect to win. But I'm sure Unai feels the same with his team and his players and their players. So that's no different. It's been a long qualification to get here, and it's 50-50 when you get to a final.
Well, the babyface assassin Ole Gunnar Solskjaer speaking there ahead of his side's Europa League final against Villarreal tonight. And of course, there'll be live commentary here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Yeah, who's your money on though?
I was about to ask you the same question. My money's in my pocket.
Keep it there, but I'm just checking the local league table. Who's on top?
Accra Hearts of Oak for the time being. They are Langards.
There's only one oak, you know, and it never dies. That's Hans Mensah Ando with your sports. Now, a group calling itself Political Parties Without Representation in Parliament says no amount of intimidation and name-calling will deter them from contributing to electoral reforms, especially at the level of the Inter-Party Advisory Committee. You recall the NDC at a news conference last week questioned the relevance of the smaller political parties in deciding on the proposed electoral reforms announced by the Electoral Commission ahead of the 2024 polls.
MPP should have one vote, and all those parties singularly should have one vote. So when you bring together all those 20 or so parties, out of them we have one vote. Does it make sense? So when we go to IPAC meetings, our presence and input doesn't make any difference. Do you understand? Because it doesn't matter how sane and sanguine your arguments are, they'll just mobilize those people. Okay, so let's vote. Then if you are on course of this world, then do all, yeah. I mean, this is a sham. It's duplicity at its highest.
Well, today the smaller parties have been responding to the NDC's criticism at a news conference in Accra. General Secretary of the National Democratic Party, Mohamed Alhaji Frimpong, speaks for the parties.
Today, the NDC would call other parties wet, but it forgets that it pools its own archival political parties as part of its voice, namely the LA. What has changed now for this new position of seeking equity in voting at IPAC demanded by the NDC? In keeping with the sound pluralistic atmosphere, the participation by other political parties outside Parliament has been and continues to be beneficial in nurturing our multi-party participatory democracy. Indeed, any obnoxious impediments to widening the frontiers of participation of the citizenry and other political parties must not be accepted in the era of information technology and demand for national accountability.
General Secretary of the National Democratic Party, Mohamed Alhaji Frimpong. Well, some MPs have been reacting to this in Parliament today, and opinions are split. Listen to some of them.
The total number of representation you have in Parliament should give you a basis for voting in IPAC, at IPAC. If we don't do it like that, then we'll make nonsense of the representative democracy.
We are talking about multi-party democracy.
Well, we have
you have to give the other political parties an opportunity to make decisions on electoral processes.
That is correct, but multi-party democracy must be discussed within the context of what is happening now in Ghana.
So the EC must draw up rules and regulations concerning IPAC and voting rights, right? I'm of the humble view that the EC must discourage people from just registering political party just for the sake of it. The EC must ensure that every political party registered in this country follow the guidelines as provided for in the Constitution.
Representation should be the minimum condition. Parties are supposed to be national in orientation.
Let's go now live to Parliament and speak to our parliamentary correspondent, Kwesi Parker-Wilson. And Parker, we understand the majority leader has been speaking about the legislators' oversight responsibility. Tell us more.
So, Mama, the point he's making is that over the years gone by, best brains in Parliament have been defeated at the party's parliamentary primaries. And so it makes it difficult for chairman of the committees or the various committees to properly or thoroughly scrutinize document before them. Now, if you look at the Parliament, for example, a quite of new entrants have been to the House, and for him, that is very, very problematic. So, it's some of the reasons why Parliament is gradually failing at its oversight responsibility of the executive.
And that's our parliamentary correspondent, Kwesi Parker-Wilson.
Parents select schools for the awards based on their performance.
Now let's talk about the National Science and Maths Quiz. And there are some 1996 Kwando Senior High School Old Student Association who are earning or yearning for the bragging rights as National Science and Maths Quiz winners. We'll be joined shortly by our correspondent Maxwell Agbagba with some more details. But let's listen to a competition that happened just a while ago.
Kwando Senior High School has qualified to the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz Championship. Here with me,
NSMQ has now become a bragging right in Ghana. If you're a school and you're not represented at the national stage of NSMQ, it doesn't show your level in society. That is what is going on now.
We know that these days, parents select schools for the awards based on their performance at the national stage, especially science selected programs.
And those were members of the 1996 Kwando Senior High School Old Student who were full of joy when their alma mater, Wallo Bato Senior High School and Jolo Senior High School, to qualify for the national championship scheduled for October. Well, Maxwell Agbagba also reports that Konongo Odumasi Senior High School has just been gifted a free ticket to the national competition in October by Nuru Amin Islamic Senior High School. That's your update on the National Science and Maths Quiz. Let's talk about showbiz now with Mapito Sibidi.
Showbiz, yesterday was Africa Day, and we had a virtual concert. We had Nigeria's Jackie, South Africa's Elaine, and here are highlights from that virtual Africa Day concert.
Greetings and welcome to everyone watching from across the globe. This is the second annual Africa Day concert with your host, Idris Elba.
Africa in one word:
culture.
Vibrant. Authentic.
Blackness.
It is my honor tonight to introduce you to a young woman from Ghana whose talent and infectious energy is undeniable.
I'll be for you. Every time when I think of you, I don't know.
Happy Africa Day. My name is Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Well, I'm proud of the Africa achievers around the world.
When I thank God, I got the lead. Say God no, on got the lead.
We got gold,
diamonds, and we keep going platinum. We got the oldest education and the youngest population.
So that was the virtual concert. I caught a little bit of it until my lights went out.
And how was Jackie's performance?
Oh, Jackie's performance was beautiful.
Yeah, she's definitely making all of us proud here in Ghana. Go, Jackie. Well, that's Mapito with some show business, and really that's it for the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM and all affiliates. Our top headline: there's 3 people dead and several others believed to be trapped after Galamsey pit caved in at Bremen in the central region. There are no known survivors. Now log on to myjoyonline.com. Our top headline there: 6 dead in Kwewu ATBA accident, 1 in critical condition. My name is Mama Vio Uswabaji. Thanks for your company. Stay with us though here on Joy 99.7 FM. Coming up is Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabel and his part 3 of Wisdom.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.